This is Tutor P, and this is lesson 241. Today we're going to cover the difference between Tomgirl, Sissy, and Tomboy. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. Tomgirl is a relatively newer term that means nearly the same thing as sissy. Yeah, many of the older dictionaries don't have it at all. And even of the recent dictionaries, not every dictionary has it yet. But everywhere I found it, it did have this meaning. Basically means an effeminate boy. Remember, effeminate means that they have female qualities. Or young man with the connotations. Connotations means like a extra meanings that's attached to the word. Not 100% it, but it's attached to the word. So kind of goes along with the word when you use it. So with connotations of being homosexual, or a coward, or both combined. Okay. Let's take a look at sissy. Now, sissy is a very traditional word. We've heard this through many, many years, a lot of old cowboy movies and everything. So if we say sissy here, let's look at the note. A sissy is an effeminate, weak or cowardly boy or young man, especially one who seems to be into things that are considered more appropriate for girls and not into sports or rough games associated with boys. Okay, good. So, sissy does have the connotation also of maybe it's not really that positive a word for a young boy. It does have the connotations that maybe they do have feminine qualities and possibly, and not in every case, but possibly may end up growing up to be homosexual. Or, well, coward. Well, coward kind of goes along with it because sissy also means that you're weak. Okay? And you also have to be careful with sissy because sissy has a second use. It could just mean, a timid person or a coward. It doesn't even have to be a boy. It could be a girl as well. Okay? So let's take a look at tomboy. Tomboy is a girl who displays traits, characteristics, and behavior typical of being a boy, like taking part in rough games or sports. All right, now this one, especially in Asia, have to be careful because I've seen a lot of students sometimes think tomboy is a total opposite to sissy, where the tomboy has so many male traits that you think that's the connotation that they will definitely be a lesbian later on. And that's not really true. Not in the US, anyway. It just basically means that it's a girl that, she likes to play with the boys more. She likes to play a lot of rough sports. There's a lot of girls that might have been the only girl in the family that grew up with brothers and played with a lot of brothers, and it might have been that way. And, once they become teenagers, they're not that way at all. It does not imply that anybody is leaning in that direction at all. I mean, it's possible they may go that way too, but it doesn't imply it or suggest it. All right, so let's go on. So let me give you the first example here. Number one, her son is a little like a tomgirl. He seems to have a number of effeminate qualities. All right, so again, it's a new term, so I don't know if you're going to hear it that much, but this is the way it would be used. And let's look at number two. Just because Johnny doesn't like to play rough sports or rough games doesn't make him a sissy. Okay, good. And the third one, this one goes back to where it could be really any person. So this could even be a girl saying this. I'm such a sissy. I was too afraid to go up that water slide, or especially that really, really high, some amusement parks, they have a really, really high water slide. They could be almost several stories high. And you've also seen, like I said before, in a lot of the older movies, a lot of old cowboy movies or something. Don't be such a sissy. What's the matter? You don't want to do it? You a coward? Or you, remember they used to say yellow, meaning coward also, like a chicken, meaning like a coward. So sometimes people will say, don't be such a sissy. It doesn't have anything to do with necessarily, meaning somebody's homosexual or even that they have a lot of feminine traits. It just means that you're afraid to do something or that you're a coward as well. Okay, good. And number four. When Sally was young, she was such a tomboy. Yeah, I've known a lot of girls. I've seen a lot of girls say this, and they're not implying or suggesting that they had interest in women sexually when they were young. They just meant that they like to play rough games and rough sports, wear jeans, hang out with the boys and play a lot of maybe they like to play baseball or basketball rather than play with dolls. But again, it does not necessarily imply that. But when she turned into a teenager, she started taking an interest in boys and turned out to be a real knockout. Yeah, well, maybe at that point, a teenager, they, their hormones kick in. Maybe they start taking an interest in boys and they start making themselves look prettier, fixing up their hair, whatever. So turned out to be a knockout. A knockout, of course, a very beautiful girl. All right, great. So anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it's clear because I know a lot of students, especially a lot of students, confuse tomboy and tomgirl is a relatively new term. So I hope this video helped to clarify it all for you. Anyway, thank you for your time. Bye-bye.